This is also a category in the included, that would be seventh category. And they are continuously migrating, and there are settlers of the belief, circles of the belief. They are the circles, the other category is the poor migrants who are already settled in the belief. Like for example, suppose I migrated earlier and you people are migrating. Suppose I'm a poor person, I migrated. Then I'm a settler of the migration in the belief, in the circle. So I'm a poor migrant who is a settler of the belief. Settler in belief. Now the other person who is migrating would be a poor migrant who is migrating in the circle. So there are two. There are categories the same, but one is already in the circle. Poor migration in the circle, who are settled in the circle, he needs amount of money to restore his life, and one is the who's migrating. So these are two similar categories. Combinedly comes to 8 categories. 8 categories have to be shared within the people. And this is 20, the 1/5 of the profit. From whatever the profit you get, from that 1/5, from that profit, 20 out of 120 is for these categories, and they are 8. I just wanted to read that ayah just to tell you they are 8. So now, so that categories, if you go to the 5 and 6 page, you will see those categories are written separately. After these reading two ayahs, what is Falillah, for Allah and God, one category. Walil Rasul, for Rasul the messenger, second. Wabni Sabil, the third is for the Ibn Sabil, the sons of the way. Lil Fuqra al Muhajirin, for the Fuqra migrant, the poor migrant who migrates to the circle and to the belief. Walladina tabaw dara wal iman, for Fuqra Muhajirin, the poor migrants who are settlers of the circles and of the belief from before. Waladil Qurba, for Qurba, the relatives. Wal Yatama, the orphans. Wal Masakin, the needy, who are reduced to poverty. These are totally 8 categories. So everybody, believer or a Muslim submitter, has to give sadaqah charity for among these categories. Among these categories you have to give. These are the categories. I will be using this word categories for you to understand. If I do not give this category sadaqah charity, then it will be an increase in my profit. As a believer I have to give. As a believer, as a Muslim submitter for Allah. Now the next ayat, the topic Riba. We are discussing Riba, but first we have to know how it works. It works. We have already discussed the 8 categories. Now the ayat that was left was Fakulu mimma ghanimtum halalan tayyiba wattaqullah inna Allah ghafur rahim. And you eat from your ghanim profit, which is halal, lawful, tayyib, good for you, and take guard of Allah. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. The first ayat, wa'lamu annama ghanimtum min shay'in, and know that surely whatever ghanim profit you get from anything is for Allah in the categories, right? And now this ayah says that you eat from your ghanim profit, which is halal for you and tayyib and good for you. So that means the amount of halal, the ghanim, the profit that we are getting, the profit we are getting, in that ghanim profit there is halal also, that is haram also. So what is from that profit that I get is halal, and what is haram for me? Out of 100 as a unit, 100 is a unit, what is halal for me and what is haram for me? Huh? Yeah, I understand, but I want to know that everybody is following or not. Some people are good in mathematics, I suppose. You see, the ghanim is the profit, total profit is 100 you get. Then 20 you have to get for the categories. So the remaining 80 is halal for you. The 20 if you do not give, it becomes haram for you. Unlawful to you. So Allah says, فَكُلُوا مِمَّا غَنِمْتُمْ حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا. It says, then you eat from your ghanim profit, which is halal, lawful, tayyib, good. Eat that. and take guard of Allah. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. So we come to know that the 4/5, the ghanim profit, that is 80, is lawful, halal, tayyib, good for you. And the 20 is haram if you eat. It is the increase, the riba. You have to give that sadaqah, charity. If you do not give, it will be an increase in the profit. It would be riba. It is increasing in your money, in your profit. It will be an increase, the riba. So now we see that we come to this page, page number 7 and 8. Surah An-Nisa 4, 161 ayat. وَأَخْذِهِمُ الرِّبَا وَقَدْ نُهُوا عَنْهُ وَأَكْلِهِمْ أَمْوَالَ النَّاسِ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَأَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ مِنْهُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And they took riba, the increase, and without doubt they were prohibited about it. And they ate the money, the wealth of the people with falsehood. And for the rejectors amongst them, we have prepared a painful punishment. Here it says that without doubt, Allah says that we forbid them the riba, the increase, to eat the riba, the increase. Now you should know what is that increase, it is forbidden. So they eat that, what they eat? The riba, the increase. What was the increase? 20. 20 was the increase. In 100, 20 is the increase. 80 plus 20 is 100. 80 is yours, 20 is the increase. So Allah says, they took the riba, the increase which was, they were forbidden not to eat, they took it. Without doubt, they were prohibited about it. They were prohibited not to take that increase, the riba. They were forbidden not to take or eat the riba, the increase. They ate the money, and what they do, how you understand, they ate the money of the people, because that was for the people, the categories, the yatama, the orphans, the masakin. We have already read those 8 categories. It was the wealth of the people. They eat with falsehood. They eat with the falsehood. And for the rejectors among them, we have prepared a painful punishment. Who are the rejectors? Who are the believers and who are the rejectors? The believers are those people who listen to the ayah, they listen to it and they understand it and they do not practice. They are rejectors. Rejectors are those who are not ignorant of the ayah. They are jahil in Arabic. Jahil means I am ignorant of an ayah, of anything. When we say jahil means I am ignorant, I do not know. But a believer is that person who listens to an ayah, he then believes this and practice. That is the believer. And who listen to the ayah and who do not practice is a rejecter. And mind you, I challenge all the ayahs of the Quran with the riba is for the believers, except for this one. But this ayat also contains the word kafirin. Lil kafirin means the one who is rejecting. So as a whole, all the other ayahs that are referring to riba is exactly with the believers. I will be reading and you'll come to know. Because why I say so, the riba is with the believer, because it is for us, the believers, are supposed to give the 20. Not the Jews, not the Christians, not the Hindus, not the Buddhists, or the atheists, or agnostics, that the banking system they are referring to. It is we, the believers, are supposed to give the charities, the sadaqah. Out of 100 profit, I have to give 20. If I do not give, so that is Allah is addressing to me, the believers. And it is the riba, the increase in your wealth. So you don't have to become a believer, you become a non-Muslim, no problem. So for a believer, you have to justify your wealth. Zakah. Justify it by giving it in the name of Allah and for the categories. If you do not give, then it is a riba, the increase in your wealth. And it is keep on increasing if you do not give. It will be keep on increasing. So now you read the further ayah. Surah AL-Imran 3 and ayah 130. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la ta'kulu riba ad'afan mudhafa wattaqullah لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. O you who believe, do not eat or consume al-riba, the increase, double redouble, and take guard of Allah so that you may prosper. So it is addressing to the Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe. It's not addressing to Jews. It's also say Ya ayyuhan nas. Ar-riba, the word ar-riba is always addressed to the believers. Or one ayat is for the hadu, is for that is I read further, is if you reject, you again, that means for the believers. Lil kafir is mentioned in the previous ayat. So that verse is also referred to only one ayat is referred into hadu, that they translate as Jews, but 99% ayat is for the believers. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, do not eat riba. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, this ayat, do not eat, consume ar-riba, the increase. Double and redouble. How it is becoming double and redouble? Like for example, I got a net profit. I'm just giving you, I will just go by hundreds. I do not want to make you into, because I'm not good mathematician like people sitting in the audience. Suppose 100 is a unit, it can be dollars, it can be pounds, it can be yen or rupees. Out of 100 profit that I get, 20 was for the categories, and I did not give. In a year's time, suppose the next year comes, again I don't give, so it will be 100 means 20 was supposed for the categories, and the next year 100, again 20, that becomes 40, and the next year it becomes 60. So 20 every year I'm not giving, it is becoming double and redouble in my wealth. So is among the believers, it is being increased, again continuously increased, it became double and redouble. So Allah says that Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, because the amanu, the believers are supposed to give sadaqah, the charity, or give zakat, the justification of their wealth. So we are supposed to give, we are giving it, and if we do not give the 20 out of 120, it is becoming increase in my wealth, and that is riba. So it is an increase. So you believe, do not eat, consume riba, increase the double and redouble, and take guard of Allah, and that you may prosper. So this address again, simply it became double and redouble. Before I go further, I just want to, just now brother reminded me of a Bible quotation. You see, there are the religions like Islam is a deen, the judgment of Allah, mentioned the Quran in the Arabic. And at the same time, there are Arabic people who are Christians and Jews. Their mother tongue is Arabic language, the Christians. They speak Christian language. They speak Arabic language, but they are Christians. So what happens, what is a dictionary? I just want to explain a few things here before I go further. That the word the ghanim, the prophet that I translated, the ghanim word, is normally translated as booty or loot in some of the translations. Loot, ghanim, prophet. For prophet they translate ghanim as loot or booty. So Arabic people who are Christians, who are not Muslims, they speak Arabic language. So what is a dictionary? Dictionary contains the different words that are spoken or been expressed in the language. So they put the words in the dictionaries, any Arabic to English or English to English or Urdu to Urdu. So there is a one word and there are many words of that, how that word is used in a language. That is a dictionary which just gather the word. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just it gives you the meaning of the words that are understood by man, understood by people. You understand what I'm saying? That the words that are one word has got synonym meanings or meanings that similar the words are in the dictionary. You can check up the dictionary and see what it means. So there are many words. So it refers to not that they are those similar words are given for you to understand. These words are used by people of that language. They are using in that language. That doesn't mean it is right or wrong. It is being used. So similarly, the Christian world are using the word loot or booty for ghanim. Why I say so, I read this Bible for you and you will understand. Page 1, the first page. It is according to the Good News Bible, Jews and Christians' faith, and this is the behavior, whatever is mentioned in the Bible, it is the behavior of the Jews and the Christians of today and of all time, because they believe the Bible and they follow the Bible. The Bible, I'm not referring to Torah, Injil or Zabur. Remember this. When I don't say Torah, Arabic word is Torah, or Injil is Arabic word and Zabur is Arabic word. I did not say Torah, Injil, Zabur. I am referring to Bible. When I say Bible, means the book of the Jews and the Christians. The Old Testament, Bible contains two parts. Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament is the book of the Jews. They only believe the Old Testament. The Christians say, we believe your Old Testament and at the same time we believe the New Testament. Put together is the Bible. That is the Bible. So in the Bible, that means this what I am going to read is both Jews and the Christians believe, and their behavior is mentioned, and it is an order or an information order given by a so-called label, the God of the Bible. It says in Deuteronomy 20 is the chapter name or book name, 10 to 12. I will read in 10 words. It says, when you go to attack a city, first give its people a chance to surrender. So the Jews and the Christians make sure when they want to attack a city, so they are you with you, are you with us, or are you against us? They give a chance. They say, when they want to attack any city, they're doing is, as a Jew or a Christian, they will say that first give its people a chance to surrender. These Jews and the Christian, especially the Christians, are doing it all over the world. This is how Christianity is being spread all over the world. They want to attack the city, they give the warning. What the warning is, are you with us or you are against us? And then they further says, number 11, if the opposite party open the gates and surrender, then they are all to become your slaves and do forced labor for you. That means when they open when people are hard, they can't fight them, so they have to surrender, then make them your slaves. Dictate your terms so that they listen to you. Who are doing this? Who are doing this? The Jews and the Christian. They make sure that you surrender, and if you lay your hands and you surrender, then what they do is they are all to become your slaves and do force labor on them. Make them to do what you want. But if the people of the city will not surrender but choose to fight, surround it with your army, your big power, mighty power. Surround them. Surround them. If they do not surrender, what you do is you surround them with your army. And then what you do? Then when the Lord your God has let you capture the city, kill every man in it. I am reading the Bible, and it is the belief of every Jew and a Christian. That is how their minds are full. They don't know. Your life is worthless to them. They kill every man. Because they are following this Bible. This is the law in the Bible. The Jews and the Christians, they kill people as if they don't consider the life of any human being in front of them when they want to kill. You can see in the world. So 14 says, you may however take for yourself the women. Don't kill the women. Don't kill the women. The children, the livestock, and everything that belongs to your enemies. The Lord has given it to you. The loot, the booty, the ghanim in Arabic. The children, the women, and their wealth, livestock. So whatever the wealth. So this is how the Arabic Christian understand the loot or the booty for the word ghanim in dictionary. You'll find that. You'll find the word for ghanim, the loot of the booty, because the Christian is reading this Bible in Arabic. In Arabic, they are reading this Bible in Arabic. And they think that when you get these women and they're belonging and they're getting this oil in Iraq or in Afghanistan, they are getting hold of all the possessions. They are to do so, because it says further in 15, that is how you are to deal with those cities that are far away from the land you will settle in. Even from this country you have to go far away, you do the same. First ask them to surrender. If they surrender, make them your slaves. Become your slave, make them your slaves. If they do not surrender, attack them. Kill every man. And then what you do? Women have to be left out. The children have to be left out. Women, children left out, and the livestock, the booty. This is how the ghanim word is mentioned in the dictionaries. The translation of the ghanim, you loot the belongings of the people and make them use for yourself. And this is mentioned that all the cities, all over the cities of the world, you make sure you do this. That is the plan of the Jews or the Christian of all times. This is how they spread in the world. This is how the Christianity you will find all places of the world, by attacking people. It is they who have spread the religion of the sword. They have been killing, massacring the mankind of all times. In Japan, in Vietnam, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, all the time you can see this going on. So they are following the Bible. They have to do so because they believe in the Bible. This is what Bible teaches them. So I have to just tell you this. So coming back to this is how the word ghanim, I was just trying to just use this Bible for. Now we go back to the reference to the ayah, page 9 and 10. Surah Al-Baqara 278 ayah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wa dharu ma baqiya min al-riba in kuntum mu'minin. O you believe, take guard of Allah and leave off what remains from the increase al-riba, if you are believers. If you note, the ayah starts with Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. It means it is addressing to the believers. And it ends with in kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. Believe me. So it is addressing to the believers that you are eating the riba. Now it says whatever remains of the riba with you, the increase, whatever the remains of increase that has remained with you, leave off, give it off, leave away, give it off. In kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. So now you must understand what is baqiya. Baqiya means remains. If I have been in the audience, there are believers, Muslims who are ignorant, and out of ignorance we have been eating riba, right? Are we not? Who do not know that 20 we have to give it to the categories, and out of unconsciously we have been eating that riba increase. So we have consumed it. We've eaten ourselves, and we have consumed in our lives. But what is remain, a baqiya, is what is a baqiya means the remain. That at the same time there is something which is remaining with me. Baqiya means that is remain with me. What is that remains? Savings. Very good. Savings can be in the shape of money and in the shape of assets. What you have been in life been consuming has gone bygones. But what has been baqiya means remains over in the form of assets or in the form of savings is the baqiya of the riba. You have to give it. So Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh you believe, again is addressing to the believers because we are supposed to give. We are supposed, not we are ordered, not supposed, we are to give. So it says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wa dharu ma baqiya min al-riba. From the increase, what is remained with you now, left over with you, give it off, leave it off, in kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. If you are a believer, you have to give. So that means I have to give. So what remains, you have to give. Now, Surah Ar-Rum 30 and Ayah 39. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن رِّبَا لِيَرْبُوا فِي أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ فَلَا يَرْبُوا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن زَكَاةٍ تُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُضْعِفُونَ. And what you give from riba, the increase, to increase in the wealth of the people, then it does not increase in the nearness of Allah. And what you give from zakat, the justification, intending the face of Allah, so they are those who get manifolds. Now, if you look in the Arabic, and if you've got a pencil, please note it down. Yes, note it down, please. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن riba. Just circle the word riba in Arabic. Liyarbu, again the word, it is derived from riba. You just circle this also. Liyarbu. Fi amwal nas. Fala yarbu, again the word yarbu has come from riba. You circle this. These are the three words that it has derived from the same word riba. And every translators of most of the translators had translated here for riba is the increase, which I have translated. Riba, the increase. Most of the translation in this particular verse, Surah Ar-Rum 30 verse 39, they are bound to translate the riba, the increase, otherwise you can't translate. I will read for you. And whatever you give from riba, if I write down interest, for the meaning of riba, interest, to increase in the wealth, to interest in the wealth, does it make sense? Then it does not increase, then it does not interest in the nearness of Allah. Then it is not interest in the nearness of Allah. It will not make sense. So most of the translation in this verse, three words, I can just make sure that you should know the word, these three words have derived from the word riba, and all the three places, if you put the word increase, which most of the translators have put there here as increase, to tell you that I'm not concocting this word riba as increase. It doesn't mean interest. Because if you translate here, no one has translated here, they have to translate the increase. It says, now I will explain the ayat what it doesn't mean. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن riba. And whatever you give from the riba, the increase. To increase in the wealth of the people, it does not increase in the nearness of Allah. Now what happened? That when we come to know, or when we know already, that generally people who are Muslims or believers are giving some amount as a sadaqah, charity in their lives. What they are giving? How much? How much? 2.5. That is out of 20, how much you are giving? 2.5. 20 you have to give. You are giving 2.5. 1/5 of the ghani, of the profit. So now generally people are giving 2.5. So the remaining is 17.5. And if the remains that I have got in my account in my past life, it is added again. If I have not been given 17.5, been adding, I'm just giving an example. It added to some amount with me. So I started giving from that. So it says what you give from the already increase, from the riba you are giving. It is already a riba. It is already riba, and from that riba you are giving, thinking that you are giving sadaqah. You are not. Because you have to give totally. It says give it what is remains. You see, it says what you give from the riba, the increase, to increase in the wealth of the categories, it does not increase in the nearness of Allah. You have to give the complete amount. You can't give this from that increased amount is already with you. The riba that you have been not giving for so many years, now you have come to know. So you have to make sure that the whole amount is given back to the categories. Otherwise, if you start giving from the riba, like people who have been giving sadaqah for so many years, they were giving from the 2.5, thinking they were giving sadaqah. So they were giving from that increased amount, the profit they got in the world, and out of that profit, 20 was supposed to be given. They give 2.5. So they were giving from the increased amount. They are not giving from the amount that is supposed to be given. They gave from the increased amount. They keep on, and every year they give 2.5, and every year they give 2.5. the remain, so that means they were giving from the riba. From the increase they were giving. They were not giving the actual amount. So that is what Allah says, that if what you give from the riba, the increase, to increase in the wealth of the categories, the people, then it does not increase in the nearness of Allah. And what you give for zakah, justification, that is sadaqah, charity, that increases with Allah. How? Now you have come to realize that the remaining, the baqiyah, that remaining that I have to give is the total amount of my past that has become my asset. I have to give the total amount of the asset that it is with me. So now that I have to give now that amount that I'm going, I have come to, that would be my justification, zakah. That I am now justifying. I have come to know the ayat. That I have come to know the essence of the ayat. Now I am giving zakah. Zakah, you understand? It's justification. I have understood the ayahs, so I have to give that the remaining 20 of all of my baqiyah remaining, the remain over the saving or the assets. I have to slowly give it back to all back to the people or to the categories. So what you give for zakah, from zakah justification, intending the face of Allah, so they are those who get multitude. That is how you have to give. That is how you have to give for justification. Now that if you look back who are rich people, who have lots of amount of money with them, and if they look at their past, they are into crores, big amount, right? For rich people I'm talking about, not the average person. For some people it would be lakhs of rupees they have to give. So what, for Allah, that also Allah gives a solution. Al-Baqarah 280 verse, next page. وَإِن كَانَ ذُو عُسْرَةٍ فَنَذِرَةٌ إِلَى مَيْسَرَةٍ وَأَن تَصَدَّقُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. And if he is in difficulty, then respite is given to him towards easiness. And that you give sadaqah, charity, that is better for you if you would have known. So now Allah says that people who are in difficulties, meaning their business and their assets have too much amount of money they have already made, and now they find it difficult to give. They find it difficult to give, so Allah has given them extension, you can say, easiness. If he is in difficulty, then respite is given to him. Easiness is given to him, that he can calculate, he can sit down and find out this is the amount of money that it is for the categories. This is the riba. From my profit, from my so many assets I've got, and from that asset, this is the amount I should have given. So he must calculate it. So now if you have calculated, then easiness is given to him. That easiness is, respite is given to him, that slowly and gradually he can give off all what is for Allah and His categories. That is what he says, that respite is given.